These days, basketball players have more sneaker options than ever, and Li-Ning isn't short on options either. But with so many options to choose from, how do you know which pair will truly deliver on all your needs and preferences? Today, I'll be breaking down the Liren 5 V2 from Li-Ning, who they're built for, what playstyle suits them best, so by the end of this review, you'll know whether or not these deserve a spot in your rotation. But spoiler, I think they just might. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is what I think is the most important category when evaluating a performance model, and that is fit. If a shoe doesn't fit you comfortably, it does not matter how good the cushioning is, how grippy the traction is, or how much support they offer. An uncomfortable fit can render a shoe unwearable. So, how do the Lirens fit? They're good. They provide a snug fit in both the heel and midfoot, while the toe box actually opens up to provide a wider fit towards the front. Compared to Li-Ning's top-of-the-line model, the Gammas, which the Lirens have actually been called the Gamma Lights, the fit isn't as one-to-one in the Lirens, mainly due to that fit in the front. When comparing the two models, the Lirens are definitely wider and slightly longer in the toe box, but nearly identical in the midfoot and heel, which I describe the fit as narrow in these areas. But despite having that extra width and space towards the front of the shoe, the Lirens actually did a great job at keeping my foot locked in and secure. That said, that extra space towards the front of the shoe is the difference between having a true one-to-one fit and just a good fit, and the Lirens, they fall into the latter. Now keep in mind, fit is somewhat personal. I consider myself to have a wide foot, and I did notice some pressure in the midfoot during longer sessions, but if you have a standard or a narrow foot, I don't think this is gonna be a problem for you at all. In fact, you'll probably find that the fit in the Lirens is even better than I did. But even with that being said, I still think the front of the shoe fits a lot wider to how the rest of the shoe fits. So for me, the fit in the Lirens lands in the B tier. Comfortable enough to play in confidently, but just shy of perfect, especially for wider footed players. Next, let's break down the traction. Li-Ning uses not one, not two, not three, but 4 different traction patterns on the outsole, but the good news is, it ultimately works. Most of the outsole features herringbone, which is always a safe bet, but it's not just the pattern that works. The rubber compound itself is tacky and responsive, as I've had no issue sticking to the floor, even on slightly dusty ones, which as you can see by the amount of dust that's built up on my pair. Now I did notice a bit of a difference between the forefoot and the heel, because the heel does use a different pattern or patterns. It's not a total deal breaker by any means, but personally, if they just used full-length herringbone, that would have been the cleaner, more consistent choice. Li-Ning also uses what they call Tough RB, which they claim is 2.5 times more durable than ordinary rubber materials. I personally didn't test these outdoors, but just based off the materials and also Li-Ning's reputation for having outdoor-ready shoes, because they do cater towards that audience, I do feel confident recommending these for outdoor use, because if you take a look at the outsole, guys, that tread is a lot thicker and a lot more durable than most of the options out there. All things considered, the traction is a strong point, good enough for an A tier score. The materials on the Lirens are pretty straightforward. It's a lightweight textile mesh that's been reinforced with plastic overlays in high wear areas such as the toe box, seams, and medial midfoot. They're breathable, flexible, and keep the shoe feeling light on foot, so there's really not much to complain about. It's a solid, no-nonsense setup that gets the job done. I place it comfortably in the B tier. Now let's talk about the cushioning, which might just be the best thing the Lirens got going for. Li-Ning equips the Lirens with a full-length boom foam midsole, which provides a responsive ride perfect for those who require or prefer a low-to-the-ground feel without sacrificing that energetic feel that boom offers. If you haven't experienced boom foam and you don't really know how they feel, think boost, but lighter and faster. Now, the Lirens are not as explosive as the Gammas, probably due to the differences in their support systems. But if you're a quick guard or someone who doesn't need an overly explosive setup, these are gonna do right by you because they're energetic enough to give you a pep in your step, but responsive enough to help you feel connected to the floor, which is something that I personally really like. This is no question an A-tier system, and if you haven't experienced boom yet, you're sleeping. Now, for as much as I love the cushioning in these, perhaps what's even more impressive is the support system. Li-Ning used a P-Bax plate to stabilize that cushioning system, giving you a smooth ride while also providing some energetic feedback, and both the heel cup and lacing system do a great job at locking in your foot, ensuring your foot stays where it's supposed to be. There's no other way to put it, guys. This is an extremely stable setup. Not only does that P-Bax plate allow the cushioning to be smooth and consistent front to back, but the rest of the support system made me feel comfortable no matter what situation I was in, whether that was stopping on a dime, making a hard cut, or shifting in multiple directions. The Lirens helped me stay on my feet without being too restrictive, allowing me to move my feet the way I wanted to. For a low top, it doesn't really get any better than this. I think this is an S-tier setup. It's not flimsy, it's not restrictive. I really don't know how they could make it better, and that's literally the definition of S-tier. But I want to make this point clear. It's S-tier for a low top. If you don't like low tops, I don't think this shoe or any shoe in the world is gonna convince you otherwise. But if you are looking for a low-cut sneaker that's strong and stable, look no further. This is the shoe for you. At the end of the day, if you're a shifty player who likes to stay low to the ground, the Liren 5 V2s will be a great option for you. They've been called the Gamma Lights for a reason, and while they may not have the same exact springy pop as the Gammas, they make up for it with a smoother ride, excellent stability, and a more forgiving feel overall. Just make sure though that your foot shape matches the fit profile, especially if you have a wider foot, because that midfoot can feel a little bit snug over time. When you add everything up, the Liren 5 V2 averages out to an A-tier performer. It's well-rounded, provides excellent performance across the board, and is yet another strong showing from Li-Ning. Hopefully this review helped you guys out. If you're interested in the Liren 5 V2 but have more questions, go ahead, drop it in the comment section below. I'm going to try to answer as many questions as I can. If you enjoyed this review, drop a thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. My name's Jaren. It's great having you. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.